Good afternoon. It is October 28th, 2025. You're listening to a little column A, little column B, hosted by Will Alimonos and co-hosted by Zach Bishop. How are you doing today, buddy?
What is going on, Will? Yesterday was the Sports Equinox. I think it's something they invented maybe 5 years ago. I've never heard about it when I was a kid, but now it is a real thing. I think it's very overrated. I was pretty disappointed that baseball was very selfish about it and decided to go very, very late on the East Coast. Did you attempt to stay up to watch the World Series Game 3?
I watched until they tied it in the eighth, and I looked at the person I was watching it with and said, you know what? I think I'm done. This feels like this is going 15 innings minimum. And it did disappoint, but I was so glad I just bounced out of it. I'm good. I watched everything up to that. Up to that point, it was a tie game, and I'm sure it was great. And baseball intensity, waiting, it just builds and builds. It is exciting, but it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Get on this coast. I can't do that. I didn't do it. How far did you make it?
Well, just kind of coincidentally, I pretty much picked it up right around the eighth inning after I got home from basketball, and Monday Night Football, kind of like the rest of the football, was very anticlimactic. So I probably picked it up in the eighth and said, this is going to be perfect. Most likely, Dodgers are going to win in the ninth, and Ohtani was going to be up. So, all right, let's go. And Ohtani had, up to that point, I believe was 4 for 4 with 2 home runs and a double. So, all right, ready to go. And then that did not happen. And then it did not happen again. And then it did not happen again. And then when it hit 1 a.m. and it was the 14th, I said, I just can't. I just can't. I don't know when this is going to end. So I have to call it. And then it didn't call it as early as you did, but may have committed almost the same amount of time. And by this morning, I was happy when I saw it didn't end in the 15th. It continued to go. The 18th, 2 games. Just all of the stats are unreal. It seemed like there was actually a chance they were going to run out of baseballs to use. Pretty incredible. It's actually the second time recently that a game has gone 18 in the World Series. But I mean, I think the main takeaway is Ohtani sets the record for the playoffs and getting on base 7 out of 7 at bats. And then, since this game went so long, he got on base 9 of 9 because I think it was in the eighth, or excuse me, in the ninth. They just started walking him. They were too scared of him. So it was just an auto, you were going on base. And it is the ultimate sign of respect of, we are so scared of you hitting a home run that we are just going to let you take first base. No questions asked.
How could you not be at this point? Right, like the Bonds thing, I understood it. Nobody wanted to, just have another one on their rack of like, all right, we gave one up to Bonds. I can't believe we fell for it. It's like, you knew it was coming. It's the same thing now. It's just, it's very reliable. It's unbelievable how entertaining it is too. Majority of the time you're tuning in, and something awesome is going to happen with him. Something's awesome always going to happen with this Dodger team. The lineup is just a gauntlet of guys. They're not even playing great, but he's playing out of his mind. Do you have a dog in the fight on this? Are you? I mean, everyone it feels like is talking about Ohtani. Are we all just Dodger fans now because we want to see what else he could do next?
I'm pretty sure I saw a headline that the Blue Jays said we will no longer be pitching to him anymore. Pretty impressive that after playing 2 games last night on offense, the next game he's going to be pitching, so he'll be doing double duty. But mostly, I'm out on the Dodgers. All the way out there, California. But this is, you gotta stick to your guns. And I'm an American, and the Dodgers are in America, so I'm rooting for the Dodgers. I put a future on them before the World Series started. Money where my mouth is. So yeah, I'm rooting for the Dodgers, and it makes watching Ohtani a whole lot more fun.
Look, it's not quite Yankees Red Sox, but it is the division. We don't want Toronto to get it, right?
That adds to it a little bit, but my takeaway was the American part of it.
Well, it's funny. Ohtani.
I don't want the World Series
not even American though.
going over that. Yeah, but he plays for the American team, and I mean, he got kind of caught up in a gambling scandal. What's more American than that?
Honestly, nothing. I can't wait to get to that, but we have to wait. We got to get through some NFL stuff. It was a weird week of NFL. I would say it was. Did all the bad teams play? Were all the good teams on byes?
Weird would be nice. I would have loved for a weird week. This was terrible. There was one game that was a 1-score game. Everything else was blowouts. The primetime games were like extra extra blowouts. I was so glad that basketball started this week, so it was real easy to just mute. There's something else on. I can be paying attention to that. And even the one game that was close, that was the Justin Fields Jets game-winning final.
Nobody watched that
Thing over the Bengals, over Joe Flacco's Bengals. Okay. So yeah, very, very lackluster. 6 teams on buys. Really hoping that this turns around this week.
I would say it's generally unusual. And there were also some brutal injuries that just added to it. It was like, great, I'm not going to have fun and I'm going to be miserable too. That's not fun. Let's just get into the picks here. Thursday, Baltimore Ravens at the Miami Dolphins. Baltimore got a win. At one point in this game, with about 10 minutes left in the fourth, it was 13-16. And yet we end up with a final score of 30-16. Your defense looks a lot better when you get pick sixes, but I mean, should Baltimore feel good about this win? Because I feel like that's a way closer game that was kind of handed to them.
I think what they are, the win for them is that Lamar is coming back. That's the win for them. That they took out Cooper Rush, they put in Snoop Hentley, he was able to get the job done, and now you have Lamar coming back. The news was out that they had taken out all of the, took out the ping pong table, turned off the TVs, and then it came out today. Lamar said, hey, I'm the one that did that. We'll see if that works. If they win and it works, he looks awesome. If they don't, he kind of looks like a jerk. But glad that he took responsibility for that. And I think that this is going to help. Getting some of these quarterbacks, these elite quarterbacks back is going to make football more fun and more competitive.
Well, let's talk about the other team who actually got a win as well. The Miami Dolphins beat Atlanta. If only you could face Kirk Cousins every week. But you know what? They showed up for their coach. I've been kind of waiting for this. Is there any chance they're going to show up this week for Baltimore, who I get Lamar's coming back, and I assume he's going to be healthy and ready to go, but what if he's not? And what if this is kind of a sloppy Baltimore team that's rushed Lamar back? Is there any chance that Miami's going to have a win streak?
I have no idea where that Miami performance came from. Just unreal. Like Tua throws for 4 touchdowns. Everybody on Miami looks good. Like this is more the offense that we expected coming into the year, or what we've come to expect from some of these Dolphins teams. So like they finally did it, and the Falcons are just they're not good. They're not all the way terrible, and so they're just like they can just be just sneaky enough to be good sometimes, and then also they're not just in this situation of how'd you lose at home to the Dolphins?
I don't know. Atlanta's a disaster. I'm gonna go with Baltimore this week just because I don't think Miami's capable of doing that again, even though I've kind of been waiting for it to happen, and it finally happened, and now I'm betting against it. I'd much rather just watch and bet on Lamar. I don't want to watch and bet on Tua and hope that that's going to happen again. Good luck with that. I got Baltimore. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm also going with Baltimore. No more ping pong to distract them. They're going to be locked in.
Locked in. All right, next game, Chicago Bears at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bears, if they don't throw the pick six, who knows, right? I don't think Caleb Williams has had a great year. But again, with 10 minutes left in this game, it's 13-16. It's only his, he's, his second year here? There's still hope for growth, and this wasn't entirely blown. I would put some blame on him for that pick six. It was miserable in your own end zone here. But I don't know. Are we on to something here? This Cincinnati thing's just such a weird momentum of, are we relying on Flacco one more week again? I mean, that's another one where that was 31-16 with 2 minutes left in the third, and then it was 38-24 with 10 minutes left in the fourth. What good is a lead if you can't keep it? So, I'm kind of leaning towards Chicago. Who you got this week?
Cincy can't be mad about what Flacco's doing. He's putting up points, and it was one of the fantasy shows. It was the Ringer fantasy show I was listening to, and they've hammered it home, and I very much agree with them. Is that Flacco's playing the same way like somebody new at Madden plays? Of I'm just gonna throw to the best player every time. Or when you're playing 2K, I'm just gonna have the best player shoot every time. They don't really get tired. It's a video game, and this is the best chance. Chase this week had 19 targets, over half. So I think Chicago is going to look extra dumb if now multiple weeks in a row, Flacco has just admitted, I am just going to spam this. So if I'm the Bears, you look at it and go, we are just going to shut Chase down. Obviously that's hard, but you can at least limit him so he's not getting over half the targets. And we see again this week, the Bengals defense is not good. So this is going to be a inflection point for Caleb. If he can't put up some points against the Bengals, I think there's going to be some rumblings. I think the rumblings are very soft, and they're because he's had some good games, but this past week was not good. If he puts up a dud against the Bengals, these rumblings are going to get loud. They're going to get loud, and it's going to start to become a problem.
I think it's going to be just like last week. It'll be 10 minutes left in the fourth. It'll be a 3-point game. You think Caleb's going to win that? Do you think Flacco throws that pick six like he just did?
I think Caleb could do it because he's going against the Bengals defense. He has to.
All right, so we both got Chicago?
I'm going Chicago, yes.
I got Chicago as well. All right, next game, Minnesota Vikings at the Detroit Lions. The return of J.J. McCarthy. I'm going to be saying return a lot. There's a lot of returning players, which is both good news and bad news for maybe somebody else. But I suppose this is good news for J.J. It's a weird benching recovery injury. How do you want to describe it? It's less detail, the better. Hope for the best.
It is. It's unique because it's opened up this whole new avenue. I don't think we've ever had he was injured, but actually we benched him. So wait, what? Like, I don't think this ever happened before. The closest comparison I could think of is more of the accusations in the NBA of guys, quote, being hurt for tanking reasons, but not for this guy might not actually be good. I think JJ is so young. He was hurt last year. He's gotten some run. I think he's shown some flashes. He's not going to figure it out like immediately, but maybe he looks at what Flacco's doing and goes, "Hey, I got one of those guys," and just throw it to Justin Jefferson all the time. Looks like he's covered. Just throw it to him. Throw it up high. Justin will come down with it. It's going to be tough against the Lions, but if I'm the Vikings in that spot, you're under 500. You need to really give JJ more time. And Wentz wasn't in a Flacco situation of you got an old guy coming in and he's actually doing some good things. Wentz was rough. He was rough across the pond. He's rough here in America.
Why is Minnesota disappointed that this is just who they are at this point? Where were they going with Wentz anyways? Like, if McCarthy's bad for a couple games, that's what you're at. You drafted McCarthy. You could have signed Darnold, kept Darnold. You could have signed anyone else too, and you didn't. So this is a choice of who you chose to be. And just embrace that you're rebuilding with this guy at this point. I don't understand why we got to just be out on him as if they're trying to save this year like this team is going anywhere. Are they going to win this week, let alone any of these other weeks going forward with any other quarterback? I don't know.
Not going to win this week.
I don't think they're going to win this week. Detroit just seems way steadier, and I would like to see McCarthy at least have a decent game, but I don't think he can have a game where he keeps up with the Detroit offense. That's asking, I think, way too much, especially on return here. The injury thing, I think, also should be mentioned from what he's recovering from last year as well. Like, those injuries generally take like a whole year to even be your same athletic self. And once you get re-injured again, I'm sure it puts you back even farther. I'm hoping.
I think it's tough because this is a matter of expectations where Jackson Dart comes in for the Giants and they aren't expected to be good at all. So like any little spark is like awesome. Like, we got something here. Where the Vikings are coming off of an awesome regular season last year, absolute flame out in the playoffs. So they're hoping, hey, we want to get back as quickly as we can. Like, we need to recover on this. So if JJ isn't super duper awesome, way above expectations, it's tough.
All right, we both got Detroit, and hopefully JJ has a decent game here. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt. Maybe we hope for that. Next game, Carolina Panthers at the Green Bay Packers. The return of Andy Dalton. The return of Christian Watson. Which one's more exciting?
Oof, I don't know. Which one do you think's more exciting?
I think Christian Watson's way more exciting. I actually think he's good for another touchdown this week. Plus 225, anytime touchdown, Christian Watson. I liked what the Packers did. Tucker Kraft is he's just a baller. Kraft. That tight end is just awesome. I don't love the Packers, but I love them a hell of a lot more than whatever Carolina's bringing this week. It's even in their brightest spots. I don't know if I would have went that way. It's bad. I thought Dalton was going to actually raise the ceiling a little bit. It did not. He's probably done. I don't know if we're going to be saying the return of Andy Dalton again. It shouldn't even be a thing. I got the Packers. Who you got?
I'm also going with the Packers. Yeah, Andy Dalton. Oof. I think Flacco comes in, and so it gives you hope, but then you see these other guys, and you mentioned at the beginning of the year, like, there's a reason that these are names that we used to know.
Yeah, I don't think you're discovering anything new with that one. All right, next game, Los Angeles Chargers at the Tennessee Titans. You could only beat the team that's in front of you for the Chargers. So, I don't think it was a lame showing by Minnesota. It'll be a lame showing by Tennessee. I don't know. Are we supposed to just immediately buy in on this Chargers team? I don't know if that's a safe team to buy in on. These are wins you just got to take. And if you're Tennessee, it's just ouch, man. It just hurts. This isn't going to get any better. And it's going to be another game of another week. The Chargers aren't going to be able to charger themselves out of this, not even against Tennessee. I got the road team. Who you got?
I'm also going with the Chargers. If this was a tougher team, I don't like picking the Chargers, but this week, lock of the week, Chargers. Titans are just they're extra bad. Chargers need to continue doing what they're doing, and if it's a bad team, like you said, they can't charge themselves. So, yep, lock it in.
Next game, Atlanta Falcons at the New England Patriots. There was a return of Kirk Cousins. There was no Drake London. That was very last-minute notice. It only punished me in one fantasy league where I turned on Red Zone right at 1 o'clock, and the first thing Scott Hansen said was Drake London's going to be out. And I went and tried to change it, and it was already locked at 101. So, boo-hoo for me, and more boo-hoo because the matchup it was against, I believe, was you.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So I really don't like Cousins. I really don't like Drake London anymore. And I really hate the Falcons. So it's very, very much in tune with being a Patriot fan this week that I want to destroy this team with all my might. And I don't care if Drake May is going to be MVP or what. We just need to destroy this team. All right. I enjoy being the regular team. The regular season dominant team is what I think the Patriots are. It might be similar to the Chargers, but we can only face who's in front of us, Zach. So let's beat the hell out of Atlanta this week. Just one more time. Just to remind them one more time. We win 28-3. What do you want to win by?
I would like to win by more than 5.5 because this is going to be my bet of the week. Is Patriots minus 5.5 at minus 105. The Patriots this year have not allowed any running back to go over 50 yards. It's going to be really tough this week going against Bijan, but I feel like we can handle Kirk Cousins.
Are we sure it's still going to be Kirk?
I don't know. Does it matter?
I guess it doesn't matter, but I wouldn't be shocked. Would you be shocked if they made a change just to anything else? Like even just like some third string guy?
I think Kirk paired with Drake is going to be better.
I think Drake just said no once he found out Kirk was starting. That's my theory. It's like, wait, who's playing?
Well,
no, I'm out.
That's not good. But I very much like the Patriots taking care of business against the Browns. Again, slow start, which I'm not a fan of, but getting our act together in big second halves. Drake had one pretty bad interception in the first half. He was able to laugh it off because we won. Don't like Trayvon Henderson fumbling at the 5-yard line. Just, it didn't hurt us this game. So kind of no harm, no foul. But as we continue on this stretch of being, first in the division, if we actually want to be good, we can't be doing stupid things like that.
I thought Booty had a really good game. I mean, Drake makes him look good. I'm not going to lie to you and say like it's him. It's Drake's doing a lot of the work for all of this, but somebody's still got to finish it on the other end. I think Booty's good for another touchdown this week, plus 200.
I can't even remember. I mean, for sure, certain years, the Randy Moss 2007 year, comes to mind, but not necessarily like this isn't necessarily every year it's every week. It's every week. Drake is throwing 40, 50-yard bombs for touchdowns, just time after time after time. I know we're not playing the best of teams, but usually you don't have this explosive of plays for like the type of team that we have. Like, I mean, we have Diggs, but I mean, Diggs gets his first touchdown, and that's just a little pick route, at the end zone. So I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I like what I see out of Drake.
I'm impressed. I think it's been a little overrated, honestly, at this point, though. The MVP talk, I think, is a little too much. And you could talk me into the wins. You could talk me into where they're going to finish. That's fine. He still had that awful interception. He still gets sacked 5 times. Granted, against somebody who probably would have he would have sacked 5 other quarterbacks anyways. You could put anyone else in there. Myles Garrett was going to get to it.
Garrett was just
he was going to
awesome.
get there. To have 5 in one game, just one guy is crazy. But my point of all this is you could boohoo the MVP talk. That's fine. But my real point is that Drake can get better. All right, he can get better and not throw that interception. He can get better and not take 5 sacks. And that's just the beginning of this. He's bailing us out with these deep balls. Imagine once he's able to not take these sacks, not make that interception, and how much the ceiling just goes up. Take away those sort of rookie mistakes. And that's very exciting. I'm not going to get overexcited about this year, though. I still think there's flaws and things we need to improve on. But the highlight reel, I'm with you. The highlight reel is awesome. We have not had a highlight reel in a long time. Winning was always our highlight reel, and then there was that weird Brady year where we just exploded with offense. But for the most part, we didn't have highlights like that. Did we? Or am I misremembering?
For sure. It's tough because Brady was there for so long that like there's different years, different expectations, and for sure the beginning of the Randy Moss era, big time highlights.
Gronk.
Definitely when we had the multiple tight ends, and there's definitely a lot of Gronk highlights in there.
It's still a different highlight. It wasn't high ball. It wasn't just the most difficult pass you could make to somebody on the sideline. It was more of just a super well executed comeback that was like, yeah, just surgically killed you with little checkdowns and dish offs to the guys. It's a different offense, and I'm really enjoying it though. It's fun to watch. And that's cool, right? Like, well, we haven't been fun to watch in a while, especially on offense.
It wasn't that long ago, like 2 years ago, watching the games, and it was consecutive games in a row we couldn't score, and we were only giving up, in the teens, and just couldn't even put points on the board. So now to have a guy that can just at any moment just throw for 50-yard bombs is just it's completely different.
All right, we both got New England. Both got bets on New England. I don't know. That might be my bet of the week too. I don't know. I think I got one more. Next game, San Francisco 49ers at the New York Giants. A cursed Giants team, and a cursed Giants season continues. Where there was even some momentum even after Neighbors was out, which should have just thrown this team off entirely. We were like, all right, Neighbors is out, just throw it all in, who cares? And then Scadaboo comes out of nowhere, and the momentum is back, and Dart is just a competitive quarterback. He's got so many things to figure out. I was pretty heartbroken with the Scadaboo injury. That really sucked, because this was fun to watch. This is a team that's going to be unwatchable now. And one of the main reasons they were watchable was because of him. Super bummer. If you're the Niners, you just can't lose to the Giants. You can't lose to this team. Again, you're not in charge of who's you can only face the opponent that is on the schedule. So I got the Niners in this one. How much of a bummer is this for New York, though?
Definitely a bummer for them. It's just immediately gruesome injury. He's done for the year. You knew that the Giants weren't going to make any noise towards the playoffs or anything, but for them, they've been struggling for over a decade now, trying to figure things out, and to just have some young guys that made you excited to watch the games. Yeah. For the Giants fans, that's not fun.
Yeah, not cool. All right, both got the Niners there. Next game, Indianapolis Colts at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, the train just keeps moving for Indianapolis, right? We're just Indiana Jones and Jonathan Taylor. The Pittsburgh defense is just too incredibly flawed to even be considered to win this game. I got Indianapolis on the road. And I don't know. Can you talk to the Pittsburgh Steelers here? Any love for Rodgers?
I'm going to go with the Colts, but this is definitely a game that the Steelers could win at home, where they've had other teams where they should win and somehow can't get it done, where then this one, Tomlin will pull this one out. And you're looking at it going, so you lost here, but then you won here. Kind of interesting. I think as the the Patriots are now in the playoff picture pretty seriously. I do like the idea that it is Indiana Jones here as the 1 seed, because now you start looking at the playoff picture. So a couple things happen. It could be Patriots versus the Chargers. Not scared of the Chargers. We beat them. Then it would be the winner of Denver versus Kansas City. Now, it sure looks like Kansas City's got their act together, but if Denver would win that, I'm not scared of Denver. And then up at the top, I'm thinking Buffalo wins, and then Indiana's over there. But if we have to play Indiana, I'm not afraid of Indiana. Are you afraid of Indiana?
I'm afraid of Indiana. With our team?
You're afraid of Indiana.
With our team? You're
talking
about the Patriots.
Defense has been awesome.
Dude, no. I mean, sure, maybe, but no. You're in the high right now. You're too distracted.
To me, this is the Vikings from last year. Cruise through the regular season, look awesome, and just I'll be up front. This could easily be what the Patriots are this year, is on this weak schedule. But I think they are the Vikings from last year. They are going to get to the playoffs and probably are going to run into whether it's the Bills or the Chiefs. I don't know if the Ravens can make some sort of crazy push, but I think that they are vulnerable.
All right. I don't know. I'm not shifted on. We're gonna have that dumb fumble We're going to have that stupid turnover. I don't think they're going to have that. All right, we got to move on here.
Well, we're only about halfway. We're not even halfway through the season. Long way to go.
All right, both got Colts there. Indianapolis Colts, or Denver Broncos at the Houston Texans. If anyone could score on Dallas, I think it's more impressive that they stopped Dallas. And
Dallas.
Oh, I'm sorry. Bad notes. Houston.
Oh, talking about last week that the Broncos were scoring on Dallas.
Yes. Oh, man, don't do that to me. I have no doubt in all this. I'm looking at my notes here. I was like, that could have easily been miswritten. Yeah, no, it was that. Yeah, they put up 44. They held the Cowboys to 24. Ferguson didn't have any fantasy points. That was a super bummer for me. I was more impressed that Dallas just didn't. I thought it'd be the other way around. I have nothing to say about Houston. Are you going to believe in this team? Because I don't believe in this Houston team.
I think Nick's looked really, really good all of a sudden against the Dallas Cowboys defense. I think that he is not nearly that good, and I'm going to go with the Texans.
Yeah, but what if Denver just can't, or what if Houston just can't score on Denver? You got me twisted now. Houston just can't score on Denver. Like, what if that offense just isn't?
I think it's going to be tough. I think that they were able to move the ball against the 49ers, and I just think that the Broncos' record looks better than they actually are. And that these teams are pretty close, and the Houston Texans are at home. And so I'm going to go with them.
All right. I mean, that was a sad showing for the Niners the week before, so maybe Houston's a little bit of momentum here. All right, next game, Jacksonville Jaguars at the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't know. Just keep it moving here, man. What do you got? I got none.
Jags. Raiders are really bad.
All right, I got Jags too. Next game, New Orleans Saints at the Los Angeles Rams. No more Rattler. I don't know. Is there anything else to say here? Saints ain't putting it together. The Rams.
Nope. It's the Rams. I think it makes sense. The Saints, they got a rookie to give them a try. Let's try it out.
Next game, Kansas City Chiefs at the Buffalo Bills. Finally some football here. I mean, we're so back. I mean, who wants to flex more in this game here? Buffalo or Kansas City? Who's the team that's been doubted more up to this point of the season?
I think it started with Kansas City, but then more recently it's been the Bills.
I think so too. And because of that, I'm going with Buffalo.
Bills lost twice, and then we're on a bye. And then he came back this past week. So for almost a month, it's been either losses or not really talking about them, where everybody's talking about the Chiefs right now.
I've seen this Chiefs show before. It's a good team. It's going to be really hard to beat them. But I've seen a team almost beat them, and a few times here. And I think they're capable of actually winning one. I got Buffalo this week.
I'm going with the Chiefs. Chiefs got the Bills number.
I'm going to feel silly when that just happens again. You're like, why did you think that was going to go any different? I don't know. Just wanted to talk myself into who wanted it more.
It's a close game, and then all of a sudden Mahomes is getting the ball with not a lot of time left in the fourth quarter, needs a field goal for the win.
How many seconds are left? 36, 35? Pick a number. What does it matter?
No, this is just regular season. It doesn't need to be absolutely crushing and be that. It's just going to be like a minute 20.
Yeah, probably. All right. Next game, Seattle Seahawks. What?
Yeah, a minute 20, like you see it and you just know. Oh, yep, Mahomes is going to do it. You watch it and just it feels exciting, but you know exactly what the outcome is going to be. No surprises.
I'm excited for that game, especially after this week of football. To have a matchup like that, I hope it delivers.
Yeah, agreed.
Next game, Seattle Seahawks at the Washington Commanders. No Jaden Daniels. I think that was only part of the problem.
I think he might practice tomorrow. I don't think that's up for sure. He's out.
They're going to need him, but I think their other problem is that they had no chance of stopping Kansas City, and I don't know if they're going to be able to stop the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks also have like a semi-decent defense, so that's another thing that if they're not facing Jaden, I like their odds. I think the Seahawks are going to win -3.5 plus 110. I think that's a decent bet. Plus money on a steady team here against a kind of an erratic Washington team. Talk me out of it.
No, I'm also going to go with the Seahawks, whether Jaden's playing or not. Seahawks are coming off a bye, and I think he's practicing, so there's a chance that he plays, but that also means there's a chance that he doesn't play. And that was a rough one last night. At least when it was over quickly.
Yeah. It's just they just were moving. They couldn't get any. It was just rough. All right, next game, Arizona Cardinals at the Dallas Cowboys. I think this is going to be rough. There are no winners in this game. This is like watching a car crash about to happen. Like something terrible is going to happen to one of these teams in this game because one of them is going to lose to the other one. And that's just not a position you want to be in for either of these teams, especially that I think they both feel like they could beat the other team. And that's going to make this even more entertaining and even more silly. I'll take the Cowboys because I'd rather root for that disaster than whatever Arizona's going to put together. But it wasn't great last week. And, maybe the Cardinals can score against Dallas just like everyone else. And that's just like the secret sauce to beating Dallas is that the defense is that bad. Who you got this week?
You know who I'm going with. I'm not going with the Cardinals. I'm going with the Cowboys. Can't trick me.
I think
Kyler Murray might be coming back. Yeah, not going to trick me. But the good news about this is it could be a high-scoring, close game.
I hope so. I'd like to be in the 30s on this one at least. All right, what do we got for bets of the week?
Okay, my bets for the week. I had the Pats -5.5. What is your official pick of the week?
Let's do Christian Watson anytime touchdown plus 225.
So just a little update. Unfortunately, both of us lost last week. I had Bears plus 6.5. You had Sutton anytime touchdown. But the good news is that I had that Eagles-Chiefs parlay that had not gone through because the Chiefs hadn't played yet, but I was able to win that one. So still down for the year. I'm still behind you, but hopefully I've been seeing the Pats. They've been winning. They've been winning and beating the spread. So gotta try to get a few in a row here. Get a little momentum.
My picks as a whole have been all right. My solo one of the week, I just keep choosing the wrong one. That's even more brutal when I have 5 of them and I kind of hit 4 of them, but I only submitted the 5th one. No points for that. I'm totally behind on the picks here too. That's brutal. But I don't want to. We got basketball and football to talk about, and let's get to all that rather than how bad I am at NFL picks. All right, college football. What do we need to know? What happened this past week? Do you want to coach for college football teams anymore, or is that just like a death trap of just you can't reach these expectations? Nobody's gonna ever. You're gonna have years like that, and you're just getting bounced after a couple games, regardless of what you've done years before. I think this is the most erratic job you could have. I don't know why anyone would want to coach in college football.
I can tell you exactly why you want to coach college football. Is because when you get fired from these jobs, you still get paid. You were under contract. So now you get paid to not coach. That risk reward is very worth it for me.
I'm sure Belichick's working on the buyout right now.
Do you think? I don't think so.
I don't think so. No, I think he's.
I think his situation is different from the other guys that have been fired so far. Franklin was at Penn State for over a decade. Brian Kelly gets fired this week after losing to A&M. The expectations at LSU, the expectations at Penn State are way higher. I get the media and everyone loves Bill Belichick success in New England, but he went to UNC. UNC, like they're not a football school. Like they've had mediocre success at brief moments, and if you want to get rid of them after one season, like you just even with being able to use the transfer portal, even with NIL, this is all brand new for everyone. So it's going to take a little bit to figure it out. So if UNC wants to get rid of him, I know that there's been struggle, but I think that would be a mistake. I think if he wants to leave, then he just very much mismanaged the whole situation because in college, I mean, it's even similar, in NFL, like you don't turn things around in one season.
No, not even Bill Belichick does that. And anyone who did, they probably got lucky. It's not supposed to be easy. If it was easy, don't you think someone else would have done it?
Even Harbaugh, he's had more success his first year at places, but it's not championship the first year. You got to build into it. And usually with the place that Harbaugh went, you went to Michigan. Michigan has had success. They have expectations. They have the infrastructure. They are expected. They have tradition. Just to come in and think that you could just take any team and for that school to think that any coach can just turn your program into a powerhouse in 6 months, it's crazy. It's crazy to expect that.
It's wild to say we hired Belichick, so now we have the same expectations as LSU overnight. It's just not going to work. You're going to end up with a whole bunch of disappointed people.
UNC did take UVA, ranked team, to overtime, middle of the day. And in overtime, I did like the UVA scored first, then UNC scored, and they went for it. just said, all right, we're going for 2. Let's just go for it right now.
Wow, is that the normal Belichick philosophy? Would he have done that with any other team?
You know, the overtime rules are vastly different in the NFL, so it's kind of hard to compare.
I'm sure he's already done the math on it. It probably adds up in college. I'm just not as avid of a college football watcher. All right, what games do we need to be watching this week?
Coming up this week, we have Vandy at Texas at noon. Texas was in big trouble this week and was able to pull out a win against Mississippi State. Oklahoma at Tennessee at 7:30, and then if you really want to stay up late, Cincinnati at Utah at 10:15.
All right, that's it for college football. Let's move on to college basketball, where we have an excellent freshman class coming in. Lots of National Player of the Year rumors going around here. Some really good candidates. I think this is always interesting where there's a National Player of the Year and then there's the number 1 draft pick in the NBA, and it's not always the same person. I'll ask you this. Do you think it will be the same person, or you want to make some picks?
It's not looking like that currently. That can always change as a season progresses. As we all know, it was that last year. What's been interesting with the NIL and just the changes in the past few years, the college has always had secret scrimmages, and the box scores come out, and there's rumors and this and that. But now it's pretty cool that all of these games are televised. There were multiple ranked matchups, exhibition matchups, but televised matchups that you could go watch. It was hard to follow because it wasn't a normal day where you just go to the ESPN app and it has all of the games. You kind of had to go, team by team. I was able to watch Duke play at Tennessee on Sunday, sold out arena. I believe Tennessee has the 3rd largest arena, and this is exhibition. I wanted to see how the team looked, and Cameron Boozer right now, he's the real deal. I think that he is not as good as Flagg was. It's always tricky because it's the beginning of the year, and I think in college, especially these tippity top guys, they just make that jump faster than the other guys, and that's one of the reasons that they're ranked so high. But I think Cam might be a better shooter, at least like off the dribble, and for sure an amazing rebounder. Comes out of the game, 23 rebounds. And again, this is against Tennessee, a ranked team, a tough team, exhibition for sure. But you're not playing some D2 exhibition game. Like this is going to be legit. So I liked what I saw there. I like that Duke went down by 9 in the first half. It was going to be 8, and Cam got the ball. Made his move, long 2, fade away over somebody. He's got a very high release, and I feel like it really helped putting that difference from 8 to 6. And then they came out on a tear in the second, and then kind of just was able to just hold him at arm's length the rest of the way. Were you able to watch any exhibitions and anything that you saw that you liked?
I saw some highlights. I've already seen some highlights with all these guys. I need the real thing. I'm not going to be changing opinions based on an expedition here, or which. Neither team is. They're both trying to try things out. Like, this is practice. It's a scrimmage. There's no. We're trying to get better in this. Is what I'm saying. I know they're trying to win, but we're trying to get better in this hour. Not trying to, do competitive things differently. So, like, I think it's hard to assess. The Devonsta guy at BYU. I think there's going to be some fun highlights. I don't really know a lot about him other than I've seen some fun highlights, and I think that's going to be cool to see against some other teams too. But I think we got a really good season coming up. I think there's a lot of talent. How do you feel about some of these G League guys coming back?
I saw the headline over the weekend, and I think it might have got confused, and I blame the NBA for this, where there's the G League, and then they created the G League Ignite to try to make a pathway for high school guys that just wanted to go straight to the NBA but did not want to go to college so they could get paid. But then the whole college model changed over a couple of years. So if I'm not mistaken, it's the G League Ignite guys that are coming in, not just the G League guys that have been in the NBA, have dropped down and are, older. It's like it's the younger guys. So I saw that some of the college coaches weren't thrilled about that, saying, "Oh, well, now here's another thing on my list I got to deal with." And to me, it was more good for college, saying college won. You got guys that thought they were going to have this was the path to get to the NBA, saying, no, I want to play college. This is where I'm going to make some money, and then I'll go to the NBA.
It's a little weird. some of the ages make sense, some of the ages don't make sense, and that's just normal college sports in general. Where sometimes it makes sense, and a lot of the times, especially with some COVID stuff, I think we're past all that. This, I understand all the arguments of all of it, but I just, it seems strange. It seems like they made their choice and they should live with it, and we're bailing them out, and I don't know if that's fair. But it should be better.
Fair to who?
You don't think it's fair to the other players that are already at other places that now that they might lose playing time to these guys, that the competition kind of just went up? I mean, these aren't nobodies.
I don't think that this is brand new where your season's about to start and now some guys coming in. But I mean, I don't see how this is much different from the transfer portal of you talk to your coach and he says, hey, this guy's coming in. You're going to have to fight for minutes. And you decide I'm going to fight for the minutes and show that I'm better than him. Or you say, okay, cool. And you're going to go to a smaller school where you push that guy out and it goes right down the chain.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's just how it is. I don't know. There's more, I guess I had someone to blame for this now. Who are you going to blame for Mizzou changing the arena seating? Did you see that?
I did not. What is this?
So Mizzou previously in past years had their stadium seating went all the way down to the floor. So it kind of had almost like a Clippers wall sort of feeling to it. Apparently the SEC fines for court storming have changed or increased so drastically that they made amendments to now there is no like first 5 rows. This starts like 10 feet up and there's just like a wall there. And there's like a couple bleacher chairs now, which I assume for photographers or who's ever normally on the baseline. But there's no longer fans on the floor in efforts to prevent court storming. Yeah, that's Mizzou. They get it. Bunch of pros. You're so against this. You're so enraged right now. I can feel it.
Well, I missed the headline on this one, but I Googled it real fast, and I'm on the Missouri website, and their headline is "Fans Closer to the Action Than Ever After SEC Propose Implemented." And then I see allows the expansion of courtside seating. So I think this has less to do, maybe a little bit with, hey, if we have the student section closer, maybe it encourages court storming, which that's money coming out. But remind me, Will, who are the people that pay for the courtside seats?
I have no idea. I didn't even know they sold those.
Those are the rich people. That means this is going to bring in a bunch of money. So this is just a money move. But you need to come up with more creative ways to make more money so you can get more in that NIL fund so you can pay the players. So I can't be mad about that. That's the model. That's capitalism. You got to get creative.
Less court storming. It's all right. Dangerous times. All right. Anything else for college?
You're gonna be upset when it goes away. You're gonna have to tell people like, oh yeah, I remember when there used to be court storming. I remember when college used to be fun.
There's all sorts of dumb, dangerous things we all used to do. All right, they used to smoke cigarettes in restaurants and then say half the section was non-smoking. You imagine being in the half court line next to the non-smoking section? That's dumb. There's lots of dumb things we used to do. All right, we'll get past it. The product is going to be so much better that we're not going to need it. The actual highlights will be during the game, not after the game ends.
I think you're going to miss it.
Anything else for college?
Just starting next week. Starts on Monday. I'm very excited. Got some travel plans lined up. Hoping to see a bunch of games, and there was a lot of celebration about the sports equinox yesterday. But for me, more of the sports equinox is when there's both college basketball and football, and there's pro basketball and football going on. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I was shocked that wasn't brought up more. That it was like, wait a minute, I mean, I guess baseball just has to be included. Is really the flaw of it all is that it's such a, again, old pastime at this point that it feels like it's grandfathered in to be included. But I'm with you. I'm way more excited for once college basketball starts, and we'll just be having quad boxes of games, overtimes all over the place, learning names. Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good one.
In a week and a half on Saturday, you're going to have all the college football you can want, and we're going to have a bunch of college basketball to watch.
Oh, I got so many hot takes, man. It's a down year for the SEC. Hot takes coming. All right, we got to get through this whole NBA shenanigans here. I don't know. Do you want to start with the things we've talked about before we get into the not so fun stuff?
No,
Okay.
Let's talk about the not so fun stuff because this will fit in better with when we were talking more the current actual basketball. This is actual basketball stuff that we've talked about before.
Well, the not so fun stuff are, I guess, they're gambling allegations. Although I suppose once you're indicted, it's a pretty serious allegation at that point between Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups, Damon, all sorts of guys, and a bunch of weird mafia names as well. I don't know what to think of the names of who's included in all of this, but I think there is a general concern now about the integrity of the NBA. And do we have a problem with all of this? I know there was a huge memo that went out that was like, hey, we're going to start reassessing all of this. I understand the concern of it all, but I also think there's just a lot of credit to be given that we caught these people, and we already kind of knew we caught these people years ago. It's just a little weird that the NBA either didn't know about it or didn't tell anyone about it. And if I'm Miami, I think they are the ones that got screwed the most out of all this. Like, I think they should be the ones that should be investigating more of this. Like, 'cause they traded for Terry Rozier, and this is all after this sort of stuff, which just feels like he was kind of, I don't know. I think Miami's the one that got screwed the most out of all this. I don't think the NBA should be as upset, and I don't think the fans should be as upset. Is there something I'm missing in all this? Like, why is everyone so ticked off about this? Is it just because they didn't get the same gambling advantage as these guys?
I don't get the feeling that people are upset so much as, but this is a serious scandal, and I think it's just more it's how multifaceted it is. I think if this had come out and it turned out that there was like a ring, and Jonte Porter, Terry Rozier, and they find somebody else, and it was all, hey, this is all basketball related. This was all had to do with their unders. But the good news is, because gambling's legal, they were able to find this out, and these guys are going to be punished, kicked out of basketball, and we're on our way. It was more, now there's a Hall of Fame coach that's involved, as well as the part that he is like in more trouble for is it's a poker scam. And I would have thought, if you were able to get NBA players involved, you could get away with it. You could get away with pretty simple stuff. But no, you were bringing in NBA players. You're bringing in handlers. You had X-ray tables. You had marked cards that you could only see, or I guess you could see the markings with context. You had special card shuffling machines that relay to somebody outside. It was so elaborate. And then I just wondered too of the people that they were hustling. And then on top of it all, the mafia is involved. It's just the names from Goodfellas, and The Godfather. It's just kind of thought we were past the mafia, but I guess not. And that's where I just wonder, because that's the question you're asking. Someone like Terry Rozier, you're making millions of dollars playing basketball. Why are you doing this thing on the side that is not making anywhere near enough? And then it goes to, well, are they just, they don't realize how risky this is? But then if the mafia is involved, are they in trouble? Has there been threats made saying, we will do X to you or your family if you do not do these unders? And it's not so much of, oh, I'm just trying to get a little money here. If you feel your life's at danger.
I think that's why they left Terry in this. Like, they just want to see where it would lead to, is my guess. But if you're,
because the NBA cleared him.
Yes, I think they had to. I think to continue the investigation, to get to where we got to today, I think the NBA had to play along, or at least had to believe what they were being told at the time. I don't know if they did know or they didn't know. I think that's the weirdest part about all of this, is I don't know. That seems weird for the league, and I don't know if they made the right choice of all that. And if the league knew that investigation was going on, they shouldn't have allowed Terry Rozier to be traded for. Or do you think that would have been more of a red flag if he went in and said, "Oh, well, we can't have this happen because of blah blah blah," and now he has to explain blah blah blah? Like that's too much.
I think that the problem is that we are dealing with the FBI, which is not normally something that, as sports fans, that we're dealing with. And I don't want to make it sound like it's less, but I'd say the more run of the mill is, there's some sort of domestic violence. There is, a car accident. There's, DUI that needs to get dealt with. You already know something happened. In this case, we didn't know anything was going on until the NBA said we are looking into it. And then that's remembering too, the NBA, their job is to put on basketball games and run a basketball league. And for sure, they can do investigations. They can leave it up to, the authorities. But in this situation, I think they might have done a legit investigation, but they don't have the resources and they don't have the pull that the Federal Bureau of Investigation has. These guys were arrested by the FBI. This is not, hey, you're going to be suspended, or hey, you might not play basketball. You might be in jail for a long time. You might owe a bunch of money.
There's going to be so many more details that come out. I don't feel like the past seasons are tainted in any of this, and I don't think this past week of excellent NBA basketball should be tainted by any of this either. This is small-time stuff. I'd like to think all these betting websites are already collecting all the information on all of us, that they're going to catch every single one of these. I think that those are almost trap set at this point of like, yeah, go ahead, bet the under on Jonte Porter. Go ahead, bet the under. Like, I think these are traps just being set up at this point because no one else would do that. Like, it just doesn't make gambling logic. Even the biggest addict in the world isn't taking unders on players we haven't heard of.
I think what we also have to remember is this didn't happen last week when it came out. These are actions that took place a couple of years ago. The whole sports betting being legal is still like brand new, like not being in Vegas. So there might have been a level of, well, yeah, we could probably get away with this. Like, how are they going to catch us? Not knowing where this is going to be the lesson for everybody else in the league of, yeah, they're going to catch you immediately. Or if you're not in the league, that you got to be way more sophisticated about this, and you can't do small time betting and then put $200,000 on these unders.
Just a trap. I think it's just a trap. I can't believe they fell for it. More people are going to fall for it too. It's just, why do people think that's going to work? Like, I don't think that would work. Do you think that would work? Like, it doesn't take a lot to put this all together. That they know everything about all of it. This is illegal sports betting. You put in all of your information to sign up for it, and then you connected your bank account. Like, there's just, they got it. They got you. You're not going to get by anything by anybody.
They know everything about it.
And yeah,
they know what time, they know how much, they know everything about you.
They know everyone's strategy before you even thought of it. They're already like, there's an angle on this here. Wait till somebody hammers it, and then they adjust it. They're in the business of making money, and they're going to continue to make a crazy amount of money off of it. I have a lot of faith in their policing, though. Do you?
It was a huge surprise. Thursday morning, waking up and finding out that an active NBA player and an active NBA coach were both arrested by the FBI.
I don't want to say names here, but Chauncey would have been real far down the list of like, that's who the guy's going to be. You know what I mean? I respect Chauncey.
Are you sure?
Am I wrong for that? I just thought Mr. Big Shot here was kind of a good guy. I didn't think he was.
I seem to remember when he was hired. I thought there was now I'm going out on a limb here because I can't remember exactly, but like there was some pushback for some, I don't know if it was domestic violence or there was like some domestic issues early on. It didn't stop him from being hired, but I like there was something there. Not that links you at all to crazy illegal poker games hustles where his lawyer has come out and said, absolutely not. He did not do that, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem like the FBI comes in willy-nilly. I got to imagine they've got all their ducks in a row, but I guess we're going to have to kind of wait and see how this falls out.
I'm not going to say that if they're informants, they have to get arrested for this to play out. You know what I mean?
Wait, what do you think is happening here?
You don't think Chauncey could possibly be an informant, has been working with the FBI for 2 years now at this point, at the poker table, just collecting everything? How else did they find everything out of all this? Somebody flipped.
Gilbert Arenas.
Oh, well, yeah, maybe actually. That's the timing.
Yeah, remember he got arrested a couple months ago.
He was hosting them though.
For hosting. That's what he said, for hosting poker events. That was his explanation, saying, "Oh, that was just like a house, and they were just there." But now all of a sudden, this larger stuff comes out. So, I think there's going to be more to come. And I would not want to be in those guys' shoes.
How many ex-Celtics names have you heard, and how worried are you about all of our old Hall of Famers getting brought up in all this? I'm hearing big names. I'm hearing the wrong ones, man. I'm hearing the guys we like.
I heard Garnett was at a party but left early, and then it just until they're getting arrested. If you go to a party, and then I wonder too, are you one of the one that's getting scammed, or did you go and say, yeah, this is a hustle. Like this something doesn't feel right. Like I don't know, like how you figure out which of these are the bad guys and which of these are the good guys.
The weird part about all that is that everyone was in on it on the table. So, like, as a team, they collectively had to act this whole thing out every single game. I find it hard to believe that they coordinated that so well that no one else was like, this is weird. Like, this is just strange.
That's what I'm trying to figure out, like the marks, because some of them got taken for millions of dollars, and I'm still just trying to figure that part of it out. Of if you went to a poker game and you repeatedly lost, just like, why are you keep coming back? And then if you think it's just cool to hang out with NBA players, okay, that's fine. That's not unusual. You hang out with celebrities, but then it's on the criminal side of, why did you have to go through such extents to like take this guy's money where you could have just played poker with him and you maybe you win a little less money, but you're not at risk of going to jail.
I guess they didn't really like playing poker. They just like robbing people. Like that's the thing of all this. This isn't a poker game. This is a robbery. This is just
It's a robbery. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's a hustle. It's a big time hustle.
None of them are poker players. They're all actors. That's what they are. Nobody was playing poker. It's not a game if it's already rigged or if everyone already knows what every other card and scenario is already going to play out. They're all betting knowing everything. It's not a game. It's just rigged.
All right, so let's get out of this. But so my final question for you is, how long before the documentary comes out?
3 years.
3 years? All right, so by the end of 2028, we'll be having some sort of documentary with some shady guy saying, "Yep, this is why we did it. I was the ringleader. This is who I had," and we'll get all of the juicy details.
You won't get any of the NBA guys. You'll get all the mafia guys, is my guess.
That would make sense because the mafia guys are way less famous.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to other actual NBA stuff here. You wanted to bring up an old segment that we've done a few times now of things we've talked about before. What have we talked about before, Zach? What do you got on the table?
So things that we've talked about before. The team is the New Orleans Pelicans. And the thing that we've talked about before is, why did they trade away their first round pick next year if they weren't going to be very good? Now, for sure, they traded that first round pick to move up, not just to get a guy, to move up to get a guy this year's draft, who then got hurt. So that's some bad luck. But I think even if you have this rookie, they weren't going to be very good. And now we were 1 week into the season, and the Pelicans are 0-3. And it's a little early for this, but they have the worst point differential in the West and second worst, only behind the Brooklyn Nets, who we also knew were going to be terrible. So, again, something we've talked about before. Why did the Pelicans do this?
I don't know why the Pelicans did this. We tried to add a little bit of structure to the NBA today, so I told Zach we would each come up with an overreaction to a team, an overreaction to a player, and then say a team we like and a player that we like over the past week, just to add a little bit of substance to this, a little organization here. My overreaction player was Derek Queen, where, I don't know, maybe I'm overreacting.
Oh, a guy that hasn't even played.
I just can't imagine him fitting in this system at all. No, he did play.
I thought he was hurt.
He was. He's back. He played against the Celtics.
He's back. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to miss the start of the season.
I think that was expected, and maybe he should have, because I just can't imagine an offensive system with him and Zion that's ever going to work. It's not even that they're in the same position. It's that they're like operating in the same area. Maybe it's an overreaction, but Zion didn't play. So like, I'm also just imagining this scenario, and I'm going to see it eventually, hopefully over these 80 games here. But I can't see it working. That just seems like such a clash of style and of spacing, that neither of them are going to complement one another, and that maybe this is just more of a, when Zion's out, we put in Queen. Like, that's a terrible idea too. Like, I can't believe they traded up for this, and that this is what we're getting. There's no way this is going to work, Zach. There's no way.
Like, I'm sure like Queen could be a fine player, but to move up, it's just you trade a first pick to move up to 13, fringe lottery. Not to move up to, the top 3, and everyone knows, all right, top 3 are like the, that's the first tier, and then it really drops off afterwards. It just seemed like a new GM. I got to make a move. I got to make my stamp on things. And for sure, you let everybody in the room know, hey, I'm the boss. But very quickly, it's going to go, you you're making terrible decisions. And since it's a first-round pick, it wasn't just for this year. Okay, this hurt us, but next year we're going to have a draft pick. We're going to be okay. No, now it's gone. Now it's gone.
It's crazy because they really expect to be good this year, and there's no way. There's no way this team's
There's
gonna
no
be good.
way.
I mean, they're all in on it this year. They're all in on this. They wanted this guy and were willing to throw away this year because they thought this year was not going to be thrown away. That's insane. It's just irresponsible. All right, so that is my overreaction player. Why don't you give us your overreaction player?
My overreaction player, it's Wemby. But my overreaction after 1 week, he's going to ruin basketball. He had 9 blocks in one game, a professional basketball game against other professionals. Cooper Flag, National Player of the Year, number 1 pick, first time playing in the NBA, has to deal with this guy, and not very surprisingly, struggled. And it's not just him; it's everyone. They haven't lost. Fox hasn't even played yet. It seems like, the offseason, all the quirky stuff he was doing, he was probably doing normal basketball things, but he comes in even taller. And I see him last night. He gets the ball and it is going out on the break. And I mean, it's not Steph Curry handles, but I've never seen a big man dribble the ball like that in traffic at half court. I mean, that's normally you got to get it to a guard, get it out of your hands. I saw him give an up fake to, I think it was PJ Washington. And just one of those, it's almost like if you haven't already, you have to have special rules for him. PJ is a legit NBA player. Like, he's good at basketball. But when Wemby goes to shoot, you can't block it. It's too high for where he was. So to bite on any sort of fake, it's just immediate trouble. So that is my 1 weekend overreaction. Wembanyama is going to ruin basketball probably in like 2 years. There'll be nothing to talk about championship-wise. Just be like, oh, yep, Wemby and the Spurs are going to win. Who could possibly take second? And we're just going to end up watching more college basketball.
I don't think that's going to happen. That 360 layup, that's insane. Anybody at any size that did that would be impressive. To do it at his size makes no sense at all. It's incredible. That's like Vince Carter athleticism in a body that doesn't add up. It just very, very impressive. I agree with the overreaction a little bit, though, where he's healthy right now, and the team is healthy right now. I don't know if
They're not healthy, though. Fox hasn't even played yet.
I don't need Fox. I wouldn't even have him show up. Sorry, I wouldn't.
What did you do with him? You just traded for him.
I would move him for something else, maybe even something down the road at this point. I'm sorry, it's not going to work. I like what I'm seeing already with the young guys. The young guys look good. And maybe I'll be immediately impressed with a veteran guy that could just take this to another level. But I just like the way they're playing right now. I like that they're growing organically. I like that Wemby has the ball in his hands a little bit more often now because Fox isn't out there. I like his shot selection more this year. Like, there's just it's very improved, and like you said, it's going to get better. All right, overreaction team. I went with the Hawks. It might just be the injuries. Did you see that they finally announced what Porzingis had and still has?
No, I did not see that.
It's POTS. It stands for words that I'm not going to be able to pronounce, but it's essentially a disorder that affects your nervous system and raises like your heart rate for doing things like just standing. And the symptoms are fatigue, brain fog, shortness of breath. It's like everything that wouldn't help you play in a basketball game.
All of the things that we saw last year that just seemed like, this is weird, like that he's sick, but this is not, I say like the run-of-the-mill sickness that you or I would get. Of if you're talking about nerves, that seems really bad.
Now,
and how did he get traded? How did this not show up on a physical? Or the amount that we gave up was so little that they're worth it to give the risk.
Well, there's more to this, and I guess they were essentially agreeing to take on that risk because there isn't really a treatment. Like, this isn't going to go away. Like, it's going to take an entire lifestyle change, and even that might not go away, is what I'm saying. So, like, I think they were just taking the chance and just hoping that they'll figure it out. And they're having games where he looked good, and he played the other night, and then he was out again. So, I don't know. I look at all these centers that the Celtics used to have and that we don't have any big men now, and I think even if you added him to all this, yes, it would be better when he played, but we would be screwed if he didn't. This team has zero depth. He'd be letting us down just like he did last year, unfortunately. Nice to hear a diagnosis.
I suppose when you're giving up Niang and a second round pick, yeah, you're willing to take a risk.
But outside of the actual injuries and the health concerns that aren't going to go away, this team can't play defense. This team has no chance of playing any defense at all. Like, it's going to take a lot more than what they're doing right now. The East is not that good an offensive team. They're giving up points to all the wrong players. And I don't know where they're going to fix that. And if the idea is that they'll just be healthy and Jalen Johnson will be back and they'll lock down eventually, I feel like there's no defensive culture over there already. And it gives me no faith in this team that I've already once again said, this is the year. All in on the Hawks. 3 seed in the East. The East is weak. Perhaps an overreaction to a team. What was your team overreaction?
My overreaction 1 week in is the Boston Celtics. We were able to beat the Pelicans without Zion yesterday. We've been playing a lot of teams on the road. But you tried to warn me. I kind of thought, like, oh, well, we're just going to figure it out. But the problem is that this is the NBA. You don't just, like, figure it out. You actually have to have good players. You have to have size. We cannot rebound at all. And I don't think this is a effort level of, hey, some of these guys just got to, like, buckle down and, Jaylen Brown could just focus. Jaylen Brown is putting up, like, a ton of points, and he has to. I think that Derek White hasn't found his shot yet. I think that Pritchard, I'm hoping, just hasn't gotten in a rhythm yet. And it's not, well, this is what Pritchard looks like when he is not the fifth man out there and you have all these guys around him and it's the weakest defender. Now he's third on the scouting report. But it's those things, as well as I think we are almost going to have all the signs of a tanking team. Of we're up in the first half or up in the first quarter. We try we try to go, as much as we can, but then all of a sudden down the stretch, and I don't think it's an act. It's we just don't have the firepower, and we just don't have the the defense to stop these teams. And there's just gonna be a whole bunch of games of we're in the lead, and then it just gets frittered away.
We're gonna lose a lot of close games, Zach, and it's gonna be by like 5 rebounds. And if we just had one rebounding monster, it might work. My problem with the moves we've made this offseason is that there's no scenario in which we can make this team a good rebounding team. There's no rebounders on it actively right now. Like, I think it's almost embarrassing that we're like Luka Garza, who's got a nice shot and is like a reasonable vet, sort of big at this point, isn't a good rebounder or a good defender. Like, we're not going to be able to put him in situations to be a good defender or be a good rebounder. Like, to just ask him to do things he's not good at just because he plays that position, it's not going to work. There's too many of that going on right now. And that's going to stink. But Jason Tatum's coming back, and he's a really good rebounder, and he's a really good closer. It's just going to stink that we're going to lose all these games in the last 5 minutes. We're going to play our ass off all year, and we're going to lose a lot of games in the last 5 minutes. I'd like to draw up some plays for Simons if I'm offering suggestions of an offense here, because Jalen's great, and then Pritchard is definitely everybody's getting like a step up on the defense. Like you said, they're not farther down the rung of 5th man option, 4th man option. They're getting the 2nd man defense now, the 3rd man defense. It's a lot harder on every single person, and I think all the shots they're used to getting last year, they're just gone. And they're not going to get them back because we just don't have the spacing to do that. There's no reason defenses should be playing us like they were playing us last year. We could shoot the threes like we did, but I don't think teams aren't falling for it, and they're already on to us, and that's going to make it a really hard year. It's going to be a really hard year.
Our whole thing was that we needed to push the pace, and I think we did it in the preseason, but we're not doing it in the regular season so far. Like, we got to be top 10. We got to be trying to get the 3 discrepancy to make up for this, and right now that's not happening.
Yeah. All right, overreaction. It's only 3 games in, so there's still hope.
This is just 1 week overreactions.
Team you like. What's the team you like this week?
The team that I like starting off the year, the Utah Jazz.
Ooh.
They come out the first game, absolutely destroy the Clippers. And the Clippers since then haven't lost. So I think we all think the Clippers are gonna make the playoffs, especially if they can stay healthy. But this was a healthy Clippers team and just absolutely took it to them. Since then, the Jazz are 1-1, and they beat the Suns in overtime, and then they lost to the Kings at the Kings by only 1 point. So for sure, not a murderer's row, but I like them coming out swinging, taking care of the Clippers, And just it's a team that is probably going to end up tanking. So just for right now, hey, 1 week in, you're above 500. Just if you're a Utah fan, just enjoy it until the tank really comes into full effect.
I like what I've seen out of Ace Bailey. There's some good rookies out there right now. I like the rookie class. Flag has been great. Edgecombe is unreal. The Rucker guys actually specifically have looked way better than I expected. A lot sooner, and on a winning team too. Like I thought they might be like a high scoring player on a bad team. I don't know if they're going to win games. They're going to beat Clipper teams. Maybe that's a decent team. I have a little bit more respect for all of them already. Perhaps that's a little bit of an overreaction. I went similarly with the team I like in the Chicago Bulls. They play hard. They have this like weird depth of annoying young players that it's just like, that guy's coming in next. Like he's not an all-star, but I'm not excited to play him. With Giddey and like Okoro and Kobe White hasn't even really been healthy, but Vucevic is out there and he's dishing it out. He's just playing ball with a whole bunch of young guys out there. Just at least he's rebounding a little bit. At least he's still hitting threes. I'd like the Celtics to kind of replicate that a little bit. I want to be that annoying team that no one else wants to play, that's really not that good, but you got to just kind of buckle up your bootstraps and you play them. I think that's what Chicago's got going on, and maybe that's a little overreaction, but I like it. All right, what's a player you like this week?
Similar to what you just mentioned, you're saying you like the rookies, and I'm actually going with a rookie, but not a rookie they shouldn't. I'm going with Cedric Coward.
Nice.
honorary Duke guy, playing for the Grizzlies. Was all lined up to play for Duke this year, and then went to one NBA training session, and immediately was absolutely not. And then as the draft got closer and closer, he just rose up the ranks, and then the Grizzlies grabbed him. And through the first few games, he's averaging 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. And again, that's for the Grizzlies, who are in the mix right now. They are at 2-2, and so that's a guy that I like. I picked him up on my fantasy team. I'm hoping for him to continue.
I got 2 guys I liked this week. I thought Aaron Gordon's 10-point, 50-point showing was just unreal.
What a day.
It's got to be a massive luxury that somebody like that got better at this point in his career, and this team also got better around him. That's wild. I didn't think there'd be a day that Aaron Gordon in Orlando.
I was not expecting 50 points out of Aaron Gordon.
Not in a good team, unlike that Orlando team maybe in a loss. Like this is way more impressive. The other player I liked was Austin Reeves. I think having somebody who's capable of scoring 40, but also capable of being like a complementary role player around Luka and LeBron. I think it's just so underrated to have a guy that can kind of imitate Luka and LeBron. It's not perfect, but I mean, at least he's capable of it. At least I'm starting to buy into it. He's able to run the offense. Like that's not something that everyone can say once Luka and LeBron are out. Hey man, go run the offense for us. We're the Lakers, by the way. And to have some 40-point games immediately, I'm impressed. I like it. I think I get you to like any Laker stuff, but
nope, absolutely not.
it's not no love at all. All right, I'm impressed with Austin Reeves. All right, that segment went better than I thought here.
For sure, back to back, very very big games. But just this comment / question for you. You were there over the summer. Luka got skinny. How come he's still missing games? I thought if you got skinny and you were a beach model, that you didn't need to worry about that anymore.
I don't want to hear anything about that. Why do all these teams think they don't need point guards and that suddenly be having a 6-pack is the key to winning offense? Like, I don't know. I watched Houston the other night. It's like a team of like versatile off-road vehicles being used on the highway only. Like it's nobody's playing a position of strength. They're all playing their weakness. I don't know why teams continue to do that. The Dallas has a kind of a similar situation. They're like, the rookie will just bring it up. We'll just make him make plays. He'll be fine. We'll just make Cooper do it. Nothing's easy. I don't know why everyone wants to use these guys out of position just to make whatever crazy lineup they have work. Are we overrating or underrating, I think, maybe the point guard position? I think, are you ready? I think you still got some eligibility left.
Always. It's always getting, it's fun. When Houston comes in and you look at it and go, wait a minute, they're starting 4 6'11" guys and 1 6'7" guy. Just, oh man, well, they're going to be unstoppable because they're taller than all the other guys. But then a crucial part of basketball is bringing the ball up and getting it to these guys in the right position. And that's what a really good point guard would do. And if you have a taller point guard, 6'4" or even 6'7", that's awesome. I mean, Ben Simmons, that was a huge thing that he was able to do. Wasn't able to shoot, but because he was so much bigger, he was able to take advantage. But I think that there's a point that comes where it's almost like a quarterback to be the general. And so it doesn't mean that it can't be a tall person, but you have to have that mindset and you have to have the handles to be able to take care of this. So I'm interested to see where Houston goes with it. I actually think both Texas teams, they were forced upon this. Van Vliet gets hurt in the offseason. Kyrie got hurt at the end of last season. So probably not this year, but next year they both have excellent point guard options. So I think in the meantime, I think are going to try it out, and then maybe at the deadline, you make a move. You're not going to get a Fred VanVleet level. You're not going to get a Kyrie Irving level, but you can get something serviceable.
This is probably not the same on every team, and maybe every point guard doesn't view it this way, but you're kind of the one to blame when somebody says, I didn't get enough shots. It's like, well, yeah, I didn't run the offense for you, but if it's random guys bringing up the ball every single time, it's like universal blame turns every single time it like rotates. It's like, well, that was Durant's fault because he didn't get me the ball. And it's like, well, then Durant later's like, well, he didn't get me the ball either. You need a point guard. Otherwise, I don't want to hear about any of that complaining and why he didn't get the ball. You didn't get the ball because you brought a guy, you let a guy who scores bring the ball up who's not interested in passing or might not even be capable of it. All these 7-footers, I don't know what they're doing. It's a weird, interesting experiment to watch. I just think it's kind of laughable that they think this is going to work. I don't think it's going to work.
I don't mind Dallas having Coop bring the ball up some of the time. It was definitely something he was able to do in college. You're at the next level. Obviously, that's more difficult, but you do have Kyrie coming back later, and Dallas isn't concerned about winning right now. Or are they concerned about winning right now? I don't know. The whole Luka trade, I don't know what they're really thinking, but you're trying to make Coop as best as possible. So if you can give him some reps, there's going to be some growing pains, but they're not winning a championship. So if you can help him get to the next level, that's how it's gonna work for you.
Yeah, what's up with Reed Shepherd, man? I feel like Ime is going to get fired over Reed Shepherd. Like, we can't make sense of this at all. Like, I understand he's a rookie, but you think he's going to get better if he plays a little bit more? He's playing.
He's not a rookie.
He didn't play last year, so I'm calling him a rookie, all right? He didn't play. He needs playing time to get better. Am I the only person who thinks that?
There's a reason. Ime's not a dummy. There's a reason that he was in the G League last year.
I don't know, man. I still think there's something there, and that he's just being set up to screw. He's getting screwed. He's set up to fail. Like, I don't think the opportunities they're setting up to do are beneficial to him. They don't really let him run the offense. He just kind of floats out there with all these other guys who, again, are not passing. They're big guys. I don't think it's fair. I think it's like they need if they're not going to play him, they desperately need to make a move for a guard, or at least somebody interested in that. Even Ben Simmons would move the ball more than what they're doing.
I'm for sure biased on this, and it wasn't all of his fault, but he was on that Kentucky tournament team that could not stop Golke. That team had one guy that could shoot threes. That was the whole offense, and Cal came in and was like surprised that was happening, and Reed had a terrible game. I know it was one game, but he just does not look comfortable in these clutch situations.
He doesn't have to play the clutch situations all the time. They just got to get on track during certain plays. I think
not even clutch situations. I shouldn't have said it that way. It just when you're being pressured, like you are the guard, and just he seems way too nervous, and he wants to get rid of the ball to somebody else, and you can't act that way if you are the guard.
I don't think they've played him enough. I'm not ready to make a ruling on it. I think we haven't seen enough. I don't understand how everyone's already so out on him. Like, let me see a little bit more. All right, remind everyone to subscribe. Little column A, little column B. You can follow us on Spotify, YouTube, and wherever else you listen to your podcasts. Make sure you follow Zach on his X account, which is
Wicked Z-Man 24.
Well, another extra podcast here, hour 20-something plus here. Yeah, giving out the bonus content. That's your Sports Equinox for the week. Had to make you wait an extra day for Tuesday, but I think we're back on Monday next week.
Yes.
Does that work for you? All right. Anything else for the people out there?
Let's get Drake May. Keep him going. Let's keep this win streak going. Get the Falcons. Beat them 28-3, like you said.
I would love that. That'd be great.
Little column A, little column B.